gifted speakers, who is also a value-based leadership consultant, Mr. Mike Poulin. Can you please stop sharing?
All right. Well, greetings from Canada, from my heart to your heart. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I'm very excited to hear the direction. What a great title, Reimagining, Leading in Crisis. As I heard, listen to Rafael speak about having to lead 1,100 boys and 1,000 teachers, I thought, I salute you. I salute you. That is incredible, incredible work. I just want to start just a few comments today. You're going to have some great people. You're going to learn some great things. But I just want to say thank you for who you are. Thank you for showing up every day, for showing up here. Thank you for all your hard work. I think this pandemic has reminded parents just how important you are and just what you do. Some parents couldn't put up with 3 children, and you'll have 30 of them for a year. And so I think, and I'm grateful, and I hope that there's a refreshed, kind of renewed sense of just how important and how hard you work. And thank you for being here today, for taking the time. Your presence here says a lot about your heart, and it says that you're a lifetime learner. And certainly, you can't be a teacher without first being a learner. And so thank you for being here. I just want to, as we start out at the gate today, and you're going to have a couple of days here, I just want to ask you to remember why you became a teacher. Why? And we're talking about leadership, and we're talking about value-based leadership. But I would dare say that probably the greatest percentage of you who are teachers were impressed by a teacher at one time or another. And that impression led you to make the sacrifice to prepare yourself and to commit yourself to a lifetime of doing homework. I can't imagine a lifetime of doing homework. When everybody is finished and they go home, now you begin your homework. And so thank you for doing that, but you were influenced. And that is what leadership is. At its basic level, leadership is influence. And you have incredible influence. I want you to just if you can think of your last class. I don't know, you're probably going back to school here in Canada. They're on summer break. But if you close your eyes and thought about the children that you had under your care in this past grade, and if you think about them and just see their pictures individually, you would know and you would remember that a lot of these children are just, it is a confusing, difficult time. The people, there's a lot of parents that are not doing well, and they're fearful, and there's fear in a lot of homes, and rightly so. How are we going to live? Will I lose my job? What's all this? I'm working so hard. So there's so much going on in the homes, and parents are distracted, and probably the biggest influence in children's lives today and in the coming years will be the teacher. And so when I understand that leadership is influence, then I don't have to think if I'm a leader or not. You have influence. You are a leader. And so in a time of crisis like we're going through, to have to show up every day and add value to these young minds and actually lead them in the direction, that is an incredible task. And you have to keep in mind why you're doing this, why you're doing it. And at the basic level, you're doing it because you want to make a difference. And today, you need to just settle it in your mind and in your heart. You are making a difference. You're making a difference. You're influencing. And so you're playing one of the most important roles in society today, because you have these children sometimes longer than their parents see them. They may see their parents for a few hours and then they're gone to bed. And you have them for 5, 6, 8 hours. And so your sphere of influence is incredible. And you know, sometimes we just have to tell ourselves how important we are. We have to remind ourselves what I'm doing is of a great importance. It is a great value for the future of not only these children, but the nation and really the world. And so I just want to stir that up a little bit.
Mr. Mike, you're muted.
Have I been muted? Have I been muted this whole time?
No. Just for 2 seconds. And I informed you.
I thought I started to mute it. Okay.
No.
So you know, I just want to say I respect you so much, and it's an honor for me to have this time with you today. And I felt that the most important thing for the next 2 days is that as you begin, you really understand and accept the fact that you are a leader because you have influence. It's not you're going to be a leader someday. It's not like you have to get more qualifications. You are right now. Now, what this is all about is we want to be better leaders. I have a motto that I live by. It's better is possible. Better is always possible. I can be better today than I was yesterday. I can be better tomorrow than I was today. And it's a matter, as Raphael was reminding us, we need to be thinking about what we're doing and who we are and how important we are. And we have to be focused on the idea that what can I do today that would be better than I was yesterday? What can I add? And I have a saying, small steps create great change. I don't have to be what I've never been. I just have to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday. And I have to be able to understand that I have a great role. And it's important that I show up, that I'm present. Sometimes I think about, you know, we look at athletes and they're all, you know, they play and everybody is so enthralled with them and everybody talks about them. But, you know, to be an athlete is, and to play at a world level is an incredible commitment. And it means that, you know, we're going through the Olympics right now. These people have been practicing for 4 years, for 2 minutes, 4 years, every day. They're saying, no, thanks. No, I can't eat that food. No, thanks. I can't go there. No, thanks. I can't do that because I got to get up early and I got to do this and I got to do that. And they're totally focused for 4 years for a 2-minute race. 2 minutes. It's over. And you get a medal. You might get a medal. Only 3 people do. Only 3 people on the whole world in that discipline get a medal, get recognized. And then that medal is put in a closet somewhere and nobody, might look at it once a year. You're so much more important than that. Your work is so much more valuable than a gold medal. But you want to be a world athlete. You want to be a world quality person. You want to be better today than you were yesterday. What small step can I take today? This here is a step. You're gathering here for the next 2 days. It's a great step. After these next 2 days, you will be better than you were when we started today. Because you're showing up and you're realizing I've got to keep my skills up and I've got to be at a world level. And so I just want to say, I think we're all battling it, but I can't imagine you're at a Olympic size battle to not be distracted. Not be distracted. There's so much distraction right now in the world. I can't imagine the distraction in your classrooms. I can't imagine it. I mean, there's all these kids that are coming. Who knows if they ate this morning? Who knows what's going on? They've got all kinds of things. We don't know what they saw last night, what happened in their home. And now you got them all in one room and you cannot be distracted by what you see. You have to be focused on what you do. You're there to add knowledge to them today, to make them better than they were yesterday. And so you have to be aware. I know that in what I do, I'm aware of the distractions. I'm aware that I could be talking about what's going on. And there's so many things going on that we can't control. We have no control over. And so for me, if I want to be good at what I do, I have to not give myself to things I can't control. I have to give myself to what I can control. Now you have the control in that room. You may not have the control in the hallway or in the head office, but the quality of the atmosphere in your room, you have control over. And it's important that as leaders, we're not distracted by the things that are going on, but we're focused on what we have to accomplish today. And so we talk about, it's not the conditions, it's the decisions that we make that determine the outcomes. It's not the conditions, it's the decisions that we make to control the outcomes. It's not the condition of the classroom. It's the decision that I'm going to be focused and I'm going to add to these children today. It's the decisions that I make and not the conditions. And if we as leaders can model that, especially to children who remember, although they may be distracted, they're very impressionable. And we have an opportunity to model before them what you do in crisis and what you do when things are difficult. Because probably the next 5 to 10 years are going to be difficult. And we all need models. We all need somebody that is showing us how to behave in crisis, how to get things done. And you are that leader for those children. And they're trying to figure out the world. And you can make impressions on them that will just change their lives forever. You will change generations. Think about that. And so you may be the leader in their lives. Everyone else is distracted. Everyone else is trying to survive. but you're there adding to their lives, adding how to behave, how to do things. And so it's an incredible position that you have. So I just wanted to begin that way. And I want to talk to you a little bit about value-based education, which is maybe a term you've never heard. I call it value-based leadership. And what I mean by values is that I call them universal laws. Values are like universal laws. It's like the law of gravity. The law of gravity is the same in Mexico as it is in China, as it is in England, as it is in Pakistan. It's the same. It's a universal law. And values are universal laws. For example, the law of listening. It's a universal law. What I mean by that is the universal laws, they will bring us benefits or consequences. The law of gravity is not mad at us if we go up on the top of a 10-story building and we jump off. The law of gravity is not mad at us. But the world isn't mad at us. It's just that now we have stepped into a law, and now we're either going to have benefits, depending how we deal with this, or we're going to have consequences. So I could be on the 5th floor while you're going down after you jumped off the roof, and you could look at me and wave and say, look, I'm okay. But we all know what's going to happen in 5 stories. You're going to meet the ground. And it's not because you're not worthy or you're never going to get a break or why me. It's just that you just kind of went out of alignment with the law of gravity. Well, listening is the same. If I'm in alignment with listening, if I'm, for example, I've been married for 48 years. I understand that if I'm in alignment and listening to my wife, it will go better for me. It will go better for us. But if I don't listen to her and get out of alignment, then there's going to be consequences. There's going to be consequences. And children need to learn the importance of listening. But if it's just rules, then it doesn't, if I don't understand the benefits. So value-based education is when we tie the knowledge to the benefits, not just to the test, but to the benefits. When I understand the benefits that I will have for listening, it will change. I will understand why I'm listening. And then I begin to learn more because I'm paying more attention. And I start to have, everything starts to work better. It's the same thing with attitude or restraint. These are values that are universal. They will bring benefits. It doesn't matter what language I speak. It doesn't matter what tradition I have. These laws are operating everywhere, in the classroom, in my mind, everywhere. These laws, these values are operating. And what happens is there's the universal law. If you're making notes, the universal law of value. It's the universal law of values. And there's 3 points to this. The universal law of value says that everything that has value is protected. Everything that has value is preserved. And everything that has value is put to use, is given opportunity. And so think about diamonds, a very expensive, a big diamond. What's going to happen? It's very valuable. So what are people going to do with a diamond? They're going to preserve it. They're going to protect it, put it in a safe somewhere, put it in a safe place. And then they're going to put it to use. They're going to wear it and show it off. They're going to show, oh, look at my diamonds. It's a universal law. So here's what happens. When I align myself with the values, I become valuable. And when I become valuable, people will preserve me, protect me, and put me to use. So just think about that. Just think about all the opportunities that come. When people, I don't know how it is in your country, but there's a lot of divorces in Canada, and a lot of people, what has happened there? One person has lost value in the relationship. And then the other person is not protecting them or preserving them or giving them opportunity. That's what's going on. And so when I'm thinking about value-based education, I am tying the knowledge to the values, the benefits, and the consequences. But I'm tying it together. So it's not just listen. No. I need to communicate the value of listening, the benefits. How, if I align myself with it, I will have more benefits. I will become valuable. And then people are going to protect me. They're going to preserve me. They're going to put me to use. Our children need to learn that that's how you become successful. Take attitude. It's a very small thing. It's a universal law. Someone could be a graduate from Harvard, but if they're not good at listening, and they're not good at being responsible, then it doesn't matter if they have a Harvard degree. People are not going to protect them. They're not going to preserve them. They're not going to give them opportunity because they don't see value in them. And so value-based education becomes tying the knowledge to the value behind it. How does it relate to life? And I think as we go, we're going to begin to understand that common sense isn't so common anymore. And it's not being passed down from generation. So the teachers become, you're the most important, so that children can learn how life works. It's the decisions, not the conditions. When I understand that listening will bring me benefits, then I begin to align myself with that and I get more benefits. Now I've learned how to live, how life works, because I'll probably be, I told my children, I have 5 children, 8 grandchildren, but as my children grew up, you know how when you have your children, clean your room up. I just said, you're a king, you're a queen. And they would look at me. I'd say, well, no, you have a kingdom. You have a kingdom. I have a kingdom? Yes, you do. And I'd say, come with me. And I would take them to their room. And I would say, this is your kingdom. You're in charge here. You totally control this. What kind of king are you? What kind of queen are you? And they would see it differently. I didn't have to clean it up. No, they began to understand this is a reflection of who I am. So then that changes. Now they begin to see the value. They begin to see the benefits of cleaning your room, being responsible, having a good attitude, all of these things. And so I know so much is going to be added on to you. But I will say, here's probably, as I finish up, here's probably the most important thing to understand. And because you are there every day. I'm old enough that we used to refer to letters as characters. Letters used to be referred to as characters. And so what happened? What happened when one time I was 60 miles away from the Gutenberg press in Germany. And I wanted to go down there and take a picture of it, but I didn't make it. But what did they do? They took the characters and they made words, and then they put ink on them. And then they took that and made an impression. And then that impression had a message. And so I want to say to you that you make impressions, probably the most important impressions every day. Every day, when you come into the classroom, when you stay focused and you're not distracted, when you add you're given to being better today than you were yesterday, that you tie the knowledge to the value, and you let them see the benefits. You are making impressions, and those impressions have a message. And I hope that everything that's added on to you, that as you go this year, and who knows how this year is going to be, we have no idea. But we know this, you will leave impressions. So I want to just challenge you to make sure that you understand that you can leave a message of hope, a message that life can work, a message that you're not just here because you have to be. You're here because you can be a better you. And a better you will make a better world. And so, again, thank you. Thank you for your dedication. You're going to have a great time here. And thank you for the invitation. I am honored. And with all of the problems that we have, the challenges in this crisis, we are doing the impossible right here. We are doing the impossible. We're living it. So there's a lot of good things coming up for us. And so I look forward. I've never been to your beautiful country, and I hope to be there someday. But it won't reach its potential unless you understand just how important you are in the future of your country and the future generations. So thank you, and have a great conference, and have a great year.
Thank you so very much, Mike. I would like you to actually tell all the audience, because we have already rolled out value-based leadership for the pandemic time, the 6 free values from Global Priority Solutions. So you have been doing this work for a very long time. So tell us about the educational institutions. What impact did you see of this program in those institutions?
Well, we started in Guatemala, I think in 2016, in really getting involved with teachers and having them understand how to connect knowledge to values. And we're almost up to 2 million people involved in roundtables in Guatemala, but we've gone through the schools. And we see it kind of takes a different look. Again, the teacher becomes valuable. The teacher's not I'm making you do this and making you do this. When we teach the benefits, the children begin to see the value, and it changes the atmosphere. And then it becomes more of a mentor, more than a guardian. You're there to mentor them, not babysit them. And so we've seen teachers have enjoyed and seen that it's a different way to go about it. And I think we're all, everything is going to be different in the next 10 years. Everything is going to be different. Look at what we're doing. It's going to be different. Education will be different. But what will never change is the impression and the importance of mentors. And you are mentors. So it's important you see that. And probably the steadiest mentors that children will have. You will be with them for a year. It's incredible the opportunity you have. And so I think it changes both hearts, the student and the teacher.
Yes, you were asking that if we are aware of value-based education. Actually, the first conference which I did in Karachi, which was a physical conference attended by all the head teachers of the system for which I was working, we had one topic, value-based education, and then it was implemented in the school. And before that also, through Lions Skill Program, even PSHE, Physical, Social, Health, and Emotional Well-being programs. So the institutions with which I have been associated initially always had one program. And I think they are very, very helpful for students in the sense that it helps them to see themselves. Because nobody is telling you you need to improve this, you need to do that. You are reflecting yourself, you are understanding yourself, and you gain the knowledge that these are the things where you need to work on. So the value-based program, that Global Priority Solutions, for which I am the specialist, is actually based on that. It starts with an understanding of the value, then the characteristics, how do you say that this value exists, and then the benefits of actually doing that. And then you're making your own action plan. You look at yourself, what is one thing I can improve in this 1 week? So the small steps, as Mike said in his speech also, they lead to greater impact. So we cannot at times see the value of a little step that we have taken. Like this one, I started off very small. I thought I'll do a one-day conference. But what happened is, as I started in the last 4 months, it became this, the program that we received last night. It turned into a major grand conference and at international level. And I'm so proud to say that people from all 5 continents, trainers or educators, researchers, they are participating. And I had not visualized it like that. But as it started growing bigger and bigger, it has improved my confidence as a person. And I feel that you cannot underestimate the value of a little step.
An idea. If we can, it's evaluation. It's like you're saying, it's important. You know, we talk a lot about evaluation. It's okay to be honest. And I think that probably when we have started being more in a circle and where people are talking together rather than in an audience.
Yes.
When we started talking together and we looked at values, we find that we're all struggling at some point or another.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's not like, I mean, somebody might be better at one thing, but they're struggling in another. But when we look at and we say, okay, but all right, that's okay. But what's one step? What's one small step I can take? So a child can be struggling getting a concept. It's okay. You're not a bad child. You're not failing. No. What's one small thing we can do today to get better at this? And then by small steps, like you said, you had an idea to just add value to teachers. Now this thing's an international conference. It's just small steps. And so children are very much in the idea that I'm good or I'm bad. I succeed or I fail. And that's not learning. That just shuts down learning. Learning is, what's one thing we can do today? And let's do that one thing. And if we do that one little step, we'll be better tomorrow. And
And I
that's
think it
how,
is,
that's how
and I think it is all the more important right now in this pandemic situation, whereby we are uncertain whether the schools will open, whether we'll be able to go out. Like in my city, we may have a complete lockdown next week. So situation is changing, and anything can happen anytime. So in this, we need to be aware of, I think we need to be mindful and intentional in our work or whatever we do, that we should be very sure of what is the intention, and are we mindful, are we actually taking others on board, and are being compassionate. And I think honesty and truth is the need of the time also, because the whole world is faced with this. We need to answer the difficult questions. We need to face them, and we need to know our own truth. And we need to take off the masks that we are wearing and understand that we are very vulnerable. We are we are struggling, and we need help, and to reach out to people for help also.
I know, we're so proud of the fact that you are our representative. I've been working this methodology, these kind of circles of growth, if you will, and you've learned all of that, and you can facilitate you can train people in doing it. And I think again, it's that circle. It's not so much. I say, don't worry about a thing. Just what can you do today to add value? And so whatever's going to happen, if you have one student or if you have 30 students, be a teacher. Be a teacher and model for them. And don't let them feel like they're failing or they're succeeding or they're bad or they're good. Let them learn the benefits of action, small actions, and they will learn how life works. And then we have to model that ourselves. We can't be worried about everything. We can't be talking about everything that's bad. We can just say, well, okay, what can I do right now? What's one small thing I can do? And keep going. And I really believe we're going to see some great things in the next 10 years, but it's going to be a challenge. And I cannot be distracted by the challenges. I must stay focused on what it is that I do. And in your case, you're teachers, and we need you focused. And these kind of events here, so much value will be added to you in the next couple of days. And so thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Fareen, do we have any questions? And Nana?
Yes, we have one question here in the chat box. Ms. Kashifa Latafat is asking, the objective of education is learning and not teaching. What is your idea about it?
Well, that's a great statement. It is about learning. And I think, again, we have to go small steps, create great change. And I've got to understand that, yes, I don't know about, I know that here in Canada, there's a lot of pressure on teachers to meet the testing standards and all of that, and so there's the attempt. You have to teach to the test. That's just the way it's working today. But in that process, there's a child. There's a child. And if they're not getting the whole picture, then bring it back down to small steps and help them to get small steps. And you'll be, then they're learning. That's the main thing. It's so interesting that the two gentlemen that changed the world, we're experiencing the benefits of a Steve Jobs and a Bill Gates. Two gentlemen that developed all this technology that we're using right now. We're doing the impossible. Just think about it. You're 12 hours ahead of me. And here we are in real time. We're talking and we're seeing each other. And both of those men did not finish their educations. But they learned. They learned. And so I'm not saying that education is valuable, but learning is what we're there to teach, so that we can make them lifetime learners.
If I may add to Kashifa's question, Kashifa, basically, this is what we need to teach our students, the skills to learn and keep on learning. Because the future, again, is uncertain. For example, my daughter is in university. I don't know how or what she would be doing in the profession, and how her profession will change. Like she wants to be an aeronautical engineer. So I don't know what will happen. And she's into this thought of having flying cars in the future. She has that in mind and she wants to work on it. So the thing is that I am giving her the skills that she would need to learn. And that has helped her, because you see, she got into universities abroad. But what happened is that I couldn't send her because of the lockdown. She got into Virginia Tech, she got into California Institute of Technology, she got into NUST, Islamabad. I couldn't send her. So in her local university where she's doing her BS now, she's teaching the rest of the class and she's learning. She learns herself, and then because she is a very smart child, and at times she is not able to relate to her teachers. She says, I don't understand from them. So she learns on her own. So we have these students who are more intelligent than us, and we need to actually cater to them as teachers. So to be able to cater to them, we need to upgrade ourselves, as well as give them those tools and skills whereby they can keep on learning and they don't need us. They become independent learners as they grow older.
And you know, just think about that's how life works. How are you going to have a relationship if you don't know how to learn? Because you're going to have to learn how to relate. And learning today, I've been married to my wife 48 years, but I don't know her. I have to keep learning to know her. Right? And so that's how.
Because she's also growing and changing, Mike.
Exactly.
She's also growing and changing. So every day we are learning. Yes.
I love the thought, you know, it's like, did I learn for the test, or am I learning how to learn? You know, and that's what teachers, that's probably, because just think about it. A child today, 12-year-olds can sit in a room and say, how much does the president of the United States make every year? And they can just Google and they have the answer.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And so
Kashfa still has her hand up.
Yes. She wants to speak something.
Can you unmute her so that we can actually answer her?
Okay, I am Kashfi Latafat. Thank you so much for replying my answer. Very well said. I agree with what you have just shared with me. I just want to add one more thing, is that as a teacher, it's our duty to take our children to the journey where they can explore that how many ways they can learn. Just classroom teaching,
yes,
classroom learning is beyond the classroom learning. We need to teach them at this time where we have facing lockdowns and everything. That's the one point which I want to share. Make them responsible for their own learning, so they can improve themselves. They can see the root of learning for the sake of just examinations, grades, standards. This is not learning, and we need, as a teacher, need to change our paradigm for that. Thank you so much.
Well, I've got to say, I'm going to have to go, because I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning last night in Canada, because I was on a training thing in Dubai. And so again, we are living the impossible, but I must tell you, congratulations. It sounds to me like Pakistani teachers are on the cutting edge. You're really thinking forward, and you have a great sound. And you know, there's no end to where we can go now. And these children, yeah, that's the most important thing. If they can learn how to learn, oh my goodness. Hey, we're talking about some flying machines here. We're talking about flying cars.
Yes, exactly. These
Thank you
children
so
are
much
very
for
smart.
acknowledging the efforts of
Yes.
Pakistani teacher. There is one more question here from Miss Saira Rahman, that skill development is overlooked in the perspective of concept development. Now, how to address this aspect?
Again, you know, we seem there's a lot of things today, like strength finders. You know, like people have their strengths. A lot of leaders say play to your strength. You know, your skill, and I think it's important to try and notice that in children as young as possible. But you know, they're going to have to learn how to learn, because it doesn't matter if you have a musical skill. You better love learning, because you're going to have to learn on that instrument. If you have mechanical skills, you're still going to have to learn how to learn, because everything is changing so much. Think of a car 30 years ago and a car today. You know, the computing and everything that's in that car. The car speaks to you. You can speak to the car. I mean, it's incredible. And so you can have skill, and it's important to, I think, to try and identify skill as early as possible. Most great athletes, people saw it when they were 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then someone helped them to learn and to keep learning about how to do what they were skillful at. But you have a big job. But you know, I must tell you, I am so encouraged by the spirit of the Pakistani teachers. You are something. And so, because I've been in educational systems in a lot of countries, and I did not hear this sound. And so, lead on, lead on.
Okay, next question is from Mr. Atif Abbas, that what is the key responsibility we have as a teacher?
I think it's to realize that you're the impression that you make is greater than you think, and to be aware that you are impressing. It's a big job. You have to have a great attitude. You have to be resilient. You get tired like everybody else, but you can't give in to it, because everything you do and say leaves an impression. And so self-care, these kind of conferences, learning of yourself is really important, because you're impressing. You know, we all make mistakes, but you want to make the least mistakes possible, because you could turn off a child from learning just because you give into an attitude or you forget to pay attention. And so just realize how important your job is, but take care of yourself so that you can be at the high level that is needed, because every day you're impressing. You're leaving an impression on those children.
I'll just put it in 3 words, Mike. It's nurturing the souls. I feel that is the core responsibility of teachers, that you are able to not just feed their minds, but feed their souls, keep them motivated, encourage, show compassion, role model for them in the way that they feel that they have received. Like I always thank my teachers. Whoever I am, whatever I am, it's because of my teachers. And I have been very blessed to have very good teachers at all stages of my life, even professional development. I got the best of teachers. And they have nourished my soul.
I love it.
Because I'm the sort of person who would not be satisfied. And that is the curiosity and the love for learning. Children come very happily. If you look at kindergarten children, they are jumping, smiling, laughing. singing also. They come to school, and they come to school to be happy. So teach children to be happy. That is very, very important, because we have very unhappy people in the world. They're not happy with the profession.
As a director of Global Priority Solutions, I must tell you, you can see why we are happy that Rafia found us. We're happy that she's out there and her light is shining.
Thank you so much, Mike. And we just received, all the audience, we just received a message from Dr. Shahzad Jiwa that he's in hospital. I don't know what is the matter. So we will be, we can start the panel, because whatever we have just been discussing, there is a great panel, 5 people on it, and they are looking at all the aspects of a teacher's life, from teacher as a leader, self-leadership tools, how can they develop themselves into leaders, and they can also, and then we have values, beliefs and attitude, and even the last one, which is attributes for this era that the teachers require. So all these, the question we just had from Atifsa will be answered in greater detail at the panel. And what we can do is right now, thank you so very much.
We have questions in the chat box, and
that I will answer because it's late for Mike, and I know he goes to bed early, and as he just mentioned, he has been in another conference, so I will answer the questions on his behalf. If we have further, I wholeheartedly thank you, Mike, and from my audience, my team, and from Pakistan, thank you so very much for being with us and for this enlightening session.
Thank you very much for the honor, and thank you for just how encouraged I am by the sound, the questions. What you're doing is just, thank you, and may Pakistan lead in education.